Hello, Namaste. Myself, I'm Dr. Sachna. Hope most of you know me. So today, let's have a conversation or a class about the Ayurvedic nutrition. Let's start the session with a prayer to Lord Dhanvantari. Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasurirvantita Padapatmam Luke Janarudbhaya Mrityunasham Dadharamisham Viviraushadinam. Thank you. Good morning to one and all. So, by this time you must have covered almost all the important topics of Ayurveda basics, about the treatments, about the doshas, dhatus, Agni, the digestive fire, and the role of Ama in disease causing, that means the toxins, everything you might have gone through, and also about the Panchakarma treatments as well. So, from those knowledge, now you are aware that diet plays a very important role in the maintenance of a good health and in the prevention and cure of the diseases. Okay, so we can also prevent the disease by following a good healthy lifestyle and food habits, and also the same food habits can be a reason for a severe disease conditions also. So diet always plays an important role in Ayurveda. So let's see what are the things we need to be taken care while selecting the diet and things, and what are the principles of what Ayurveda talks about, and what are the principles behind this combination of the food and everything that we will learn in the session. Okay. So the proper balanced food is the most important factor in the promotion of positive health. The foundation of Ayurvedic nutrition is based on the idea that human being is the result of what, when, where, how and why they eat. So everything matters, nothing is matterless, like everything that we undergo. So what we are eating definitely matters, and when we are taking it, and the proper timings are very important, and where we are taking it, whether we are taking it in a place where we have a peace of mind, or in a rush, or in a street, or in a place where you feel secure and the food is protected from harmful insects. All that matters. And how we eat, are we eating very fastly or very slowly, or are we talking and eating, are we concentrating on our food that we are taking, everything matters. And why we eat, what's the need for eating, whether we are only eating for the need of eating, or we are not feeling hungry, are you eating whether you're feeling hungry. So all those things are very much important when it comes to food. Okay, so it explains that food should be eaten mindfully and with gratitude. Always we know that whatever we are eating, we have to be 100%, not only eating, whatever we are doing, we have to give our 100% into it. The same way in the eating also. So whatever we are eating, we have to be eating it mindfully and with gratitude, and that it must be fresh and of the whatever is the available highest quality, and something which you were able to digest. Like always we give focus on satisfying our mind when it comes to food, more than satisfying our stomach or body needs. Nowadays food is like more mind satisfying in nature, like the color, the texture, and the advertisements, everything are just dragging us into something which is not something healthy for us, but which makes our mind so happy. So always you have to steady yourself, like whether you are able to digest the food that you are taking, or you are not able to digest, or whether it is heavy for you, or whether it is not enough for you. So all these things should be considered, and no one else can judge all these things for you. Everybody has to judge themselves. In case if a patient is unable to do so, there is a doctor or someone who is helpful to understand by the signs and symptoms of what the patient is describing us. Okay. And delicious food and which is prepared with more of love and care and passion towards that food. We should not cook the food like, oh, I have to cook this. I don't have any other choice. Definitely, I need to cook this. With like when you prepare food with an irritating mind, that energy is transforming. That prana, that food doesn't is not going to have any prana in it because we are giving up a negative energy while we are preparing that food. If we are not doing it willingly or with a happy or loving mind. So that bad energy is going to those persons who are taking that food. This is the same happen with when we eat in restaurants or when we eat in any other shops, means dining centers. If the cook is not so happy over there, that dissatisfied mind of cook is coming to us in the way of the food that he prepared. He or she is preparing. So that is creating a negative impact on us. This all makes sense. Maybe listening to this, you may think that doesn't make any sense, but of course it makes sense. When that is why mom's food is always very special because she always, whatever she knows to cook, she always cook it with so much of passion and love for the kids and so much she take care of that food. So when we take that food, it only gives us nourishment and nothing else because it is prepared with so much of love and care. Every food should be prepared in the same manner and it should be satisfying to the senses as well. And Ayurveda offers a balanced approach for preparing, eating and digesting food based on the unique body mind type. That means the doshas. Everybody will have their own food choices and preferences based on the dosha predominance of them and also based on the their vigrity. That means the disease causing dosha in them. We need to consider that also. At the moment which dosha is not in a balance, considering that only we have to advise a diet to the patient that so that those diet is not again aggravating the already accumulated doshas in the body. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so doshas should be considered as well as, excuse me, I had a very good lunch for meal for the lunch. It was very delicious. That's why I had a little bit overtook it. That's why this is coming because I satisfied my mind, not my body. Okay. So coming back, as well as the dosha, as well as the time of the day is also a matter. Like we have to eat according to the time of the day. That means and normally your acne is the maximum. I mean at the peak when during the lunch time. That means the noon time, and will be little bit less towards the sunset time. That is the dinner time, and it will be in the beginning stage. I mean it's a very fresh form like beginning stage during the breakfast time. So you have to eat a medium kind of meal for the breakfast and a heavy meal for your lunch and the very light meal of your day for your dinner. This is a pattern you are supposed to follow. Okay. So when you follow this, when you start to eat according to this acne basis, the digestion pattern will also change. So don't take any alfam or any biryani or any meat items for the dinner. That will be heavy for the body to digest. But you can eat the same for the lunch where your digestive fire is at the peak. And the time, so that is should be taken, and the season also. So in the schedule, you might have learned that which season it should be preferred. So like basically whatever vegetables or fruits is locally available in and around you during that season is the best variety of food that you can choose. Okay, and the period of life cycle and the living place of the person. So everything which is available around our area is the food that we have to choose. It's not that nowadays in basically in India and also in South India, a lot of Malaysian or Singaporean fruits are very commonly available. It's like rambutan, dragon fruit and all that are not basically our origin. and people started to eat a lot of those fruits, and a lot of increased rate of diabetes patients have started to come up in South India actually. So this is what they are not our native fruits. Okay, we are not, our stomach is not accustomed to digest those kind of fruits. So when we take that, it is a new kind of thing, and body will try find it hard to get digest. So those are like the same thing. Mangoes are not available in, maybe I don't think in European countries. Mangoes are not like growing there, but still it is available now. Every fruits are available all over the world. It's a good thing as well as a bad thing, because their stomach or digestive system is not built in such a way that they can digest all these fruits, but ours are. So when they take this kind of food, it becomes difficult for digestion for them, and the absorption rate is also unable to absorb these things from their system, and it accumulates in the body and turn into something poison and become toxic, and then later become a ama. So that is the same thing happened with the all other foods that we are not intended to have it. That's why always choose for the food that are locally available in your place. And our aim is always to help a person to understand what is right for them as a unique individual. It should always be a compassionate journey of self-discovery, providing them with the tools to becoming one's own physician. Okay, that's how this food is very important. We are making every human beings their own physicians. You have to know your body. You have to learn your body. What is good for you? What is bad for you? Learn that, and then master it, so that you can be your own doctor and you can prevent so much of disease conditions also. Okay. So the main aim of Ayurveda is always to maintain a health in a healthy person and to cure the disease of a diseased person. Like swasthasya swastharakshanam aturasya vigara prashamanam. So in order to attain this, that is not so very easy task. So in order to attain, what we have to do? In order to attain this, Ayurveda mainly concentrate on various rules and regulations related to lifestyle. It may be feel like very strict while we are doing it, or why so much of restrictions. You have to wake up at this time, eat at this time, sleep at this time, drink water, do that, do this. We feel like a lot of rules and regulations related to lifestyle. See, when we follow all these rules, we don't have to be in the hospital queue. We don't have to be in the pharmacy queue. We don't have to be in a queue for your scanning centers, or so many things, heartbreaking things in life. You can extend it, and I can't assure you that it's not going to happen anymore. It may happen, you may get admitted in the hospital, because that is unavoidable part of human life, getting sick, and we have to, death is an unavoidable part in our journey, and we have to go through it once a day. But we can go through it smoothly if we follow all these diet, means all these regulations, not only diet, all kind of things. That's what Ayurveda suggests for it. So among these rules and regulations, dietetic rule is also one of them. Okay. If the dietetic rule is followed properly, it helps to improve health and also enhances the lifespan. Okay. So diet is a complete psychosomatic nutrient. Whatever we take into our bodies influences our well-being. Okay. So what we eat and what we absorb is actually what we are. Okay. Ayurveda teaches that food are carriers and balancers of the vital life force, that is the prana. So, excuse me. Each food has its own unique characteristics of energy. Like each food is different. That's why it's Rajasika, Tamasika. Nature of foods, Sattvikam, Rajasikam and Tamasikam. Sattvic foods are very calm and cooling kind of foods, which gives only sattva, good energy from it. And Rajasika is very energy creating kind of foods. The onion, garlic comes and all in Rajasika kind of foods. Okay. And the next one is tamasiga kind of foods. Tamasiga means the foods that grow underground. That means like tapioca, potatoes, and everything which is underground means parthiva, earth, heavy. So those heaviness can bring kind of laziness and kind of heaviness in the something into the body also. So when we take a food of certain time, it gives us an energy like that only. So those kind of foods, there is just know that there is a differentiation in this mind level also. Like Sattvikam, Rajasikam and Tamasikam kind of foods are also there. So each food has its own unique characteristics of energy and flavor through which it produces a specific effect on our body tissues. Okay. So thus dietetic rules always play a significant task in both causation and curing of the diseases. So properly followed dietetic rule always keeps the body healthy and prevents the lifestyle diseases. So according to Ayurveda, food is not only a mixture of all the basic ingredients like protein, vitamins, fats and carbohydrates, but it is also something which serves as a source of energy, like for the mind as well as the body and also the soul as well. So food is always a substance through which we bring nature's intelligence into our bodies. So we have to be very cautious and careful when we choose the food items. It has to be definitely should be beneficial for us. Always think that you have to satisfy your mind also, but don't only satisfy your mind. Also keep thinking about your body as well. So the digestive fires, collectively called as Agni, that's a base and the main part of the Ayurvedic nutrition, helps in the digestion. And you might have learned this like about the Agni, and which is very good for digestion and the assimilation of food, so that the nutrients can be optimally utilized. So when the Agni is strong, our body completely assimilates nutrients and eliminates what it doesn't need. Okay. It is basically kind of a like a very good fire. If you are making a like a fire, so if the wood is nice, it will burn very quickly, and there will not be any remnants, and the fumes or the pollution or the dust will be less. But if the Agni is less or the fire is not so proper, the wood will not burn proper. So there will be a lot of smoke coming from it, and it will create a lot of disturbance, and there is not at all, no Agni at all. The wood will be remain as it is, very damp and getting accumulated and get wasted. So the same like the thing happens with the food also. If the food is like good, if the Agni is good, and it's a very, if the Agni is strong, then whatever we put it inside, it is able to digest and assimilate and get absorbed into system. Whenever the Agni is poor, the food that we ate is undergoing indigestion, not a proper digestion. And whenever there is no proper digestion, there is no absorption, there is nothing to get absorbed into the system. The people always complain that I want to tell you one thing, like one day one girl is around 18 years of age, probably. She was in the college, and she came to me. She looks very thin, like a wheatish color, but she has very good hair, and her bones are very firm. But she looks like around 18 years with only 40 to 45 kgs of weight. She was very much concerned about that, and she told me, "Doctor, I'm very hungry all the time. And I ate so much of things, and I always love eating. I'm a foodie, but whatever I'm taking, nothing is showing up in my body, and I feel sick all the time. Like whoever, someone in my class getting a cold, next day I will have that. Like in whatever distance, even if I sit, I'm catching infections very easily. And I feel tired all the time and hungry all the time, and what is happening with me, I'm really worried about my condition. Then I said, and I just asked her like so many questions, and we were came to know that she said I get hungry very fast. Okay, and whatever I eat, I don't think it's enough for me. I keep on eating. So from there, I could understand that she is having a Vishamakni. That means which is dominated by Vada, and it's also very Tikshnakni. That means high Agni, and her absorption is zero. Nothing is getting absorbed into her system. She's feeling hungry and she is eating and accumulating the ama in her body. That's all. But no nourishment at all is happening. So I explained her about all these conditions and I told her that, so you see, let's take some Dvana Pajana medications. That means which is digesting the ama and improving or correcting your digestive fire, not increasing your digestive fire. Whatever digestive fire you have, we need to improve the quality of that fire at first. So we told them let's do this, will improve the digestive fire. Okay. Then slowly she started to take some medications, and next week she came, she said, now I don't feel hungry all the time, doctor. I feel hungry when I take, I'm okay only, but sometimes I feel bloated and all. Okay, let's say we continue the medications for another 15 days. So another 15 days she came to me and she told she gained 1 kg in around 20-25 days of time. He told me I'm starting to gain 1 kg after a long time, but I'm eating the same thing what I have eaten, but I reduce the quantity of food that I'm taking. But I feel better now. And I told her, yeah, very good. Keep on doing the same thing. We'll see. And then I forget about her. Okay, because she didn't came back. Then I thought, okay. And then, of course, when we meet other patients, and this thing just left my mind. So after 3-4 months, I think after that, a call from the reception came. So you have an OP patient, doctor. Okay, I went, and they told some name, and the name was very familiar to me, but I didn't remember her at that time. The name was very familiar to me. It's like and a beautiful girl just entered my room. She was like she was looking very pretty because already she had a very good hair. And she was like little clumpy and gained some weight and was very charming. And she asked me, Doctor, you can recognize me? I said, when I heard her voice, of course, yeah. I said, yeah, okay, this is you. I'm so happy. What happened to you? Then she said, you made my acne. Okay, doctor. Then I was completely fine. See, she continuously took that medication for a period of 3 months. Maybe without consulting me, she repeatedly took the bought and took that medicines. And what happened is her digestive fire became extremely normal, and she started to absorb the things what the body needs. And that ama got digested, and acne got better, and the absorption rate got increased. So whatever food she is taking started to get absorbed into her system. That was started to show up on her system. Okay. From that, within the 3 months of time, from 45 she became 52 kgs. And she was so happy. Then she asked me, Doctor, I'm gaining weight now, but I'm eating also well. But any technique that I want to eat and I am not gaining weight. So of course we have a technique. You have to do hard work. You have to do some physical work. If you need to eat and to not gain weight means nothing we can do else. If your system is good, whatever you eat, if you overeat, it will definitely reflect on your body. We can't avoid those conditions, okay? So this thing happened. That's what I'm telling. Recognizing the problem is the initial thing. Rather than she thought of treating herself, she found out that she is having a problem. And when they come for a support, we can support them. Otherwise, means nowadays people are thinking being slim is a good thing. Like anorexia nervosa kind of diseases are nowadays very much increasing in the society because of like body shaming and all. People don't want to gain weight. It is not always correcting your hunger is not always gaining weight. You have to have a proper weight. Your acne needs some fuel on a proper timings in order to give you a proper strength. If you are not following this, that itself is a reason for being sick mentally as well as physically. Like skipping meals is not only affecting you physically, it is also affecting you mentally too. It is becoming making you too exhausted sometimes. So this exhaustion, when it continues, cause different kinds of problems in your system. Okay. So coming back, when the Agni is very strong, our body completely assimilates the nutrients and eliminates what it doesn't need. Okay. Ultimately, a fully functioning digestive system uses the food articles to produce a biochemical substance called nothing but ojas. So these nourishment is get absorbed into the system and it reaches all the seven dhatus one by one. Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Medha, Asti, Mancha, Shukra, one by one. The nourishment is just given to all the dhatus and finally it reaches the Sat. That means the base, the main energy point of the body is called as Ojas. So only if the nourishment reaches up to that level, one person can build up his Ojas. It is nothing we can call it as nothing but immunity. Okay, so the channels need to be clear so that the flow is clear and it reaches up to the last dhatu, and also the absorption rate has to be increased so that there is enough nourishment. It has to reach up to the ojo dhatu. Ojas, not dhatu. So it is also fluid substance that we can correlate at immunity or something which nourishes the mind and body, maintains the balance of all bodily system and fills one's entire being with radiant energy or prana. Okay. So, Ajay Saraga mentioned food is the root cause of both like healthy body as well as a disease. Wholesome food leads to happiness and unwholesome food leads to unhappiness, of course. So therefore, the unwholesome food gives you happiness for a shorter period of time, of course, and if you take it in a regular pattern for a longer period of time, it's going to give you unhappiness for a longer period of time. Whatever we eat, whatever we put like crop, we have to yield. That's why it's the same food that we are taking in, then we have to face the problems also. So, therefore, one should consume food after the proper analysis, since bodies originated from the food. That's what Acharya is mentioning, and this is the same opinion for the other Acharyas also. The healthy food is not only responsible for, so Acharya say that the food is not only responsible for the development of the body tissues. On the other hand, this unhealthy practice of the diet is the root cause of all the diseases. And he also says that he whose doshas are in balance, whose appetite is good, and whose body, mind, and sense remains full of bliss is called as a healthy person. By following these simple time-tested Ayurvedic dietary principles, we can promote our health, increase our happiness, and uplift our spirit. And one should not eat a wide variety of foods for balanced nutrition. Like nowadays, like the nutritionist are telling you have to eat this much of protein, this much of grains, this much of carbs, and this much of fat, and all these things should be taken. The different proportions should be taken. All those things are right only. I'm not telling something wrong in them. But the problem is that whether these food items are able to digest, able to absorb, that is matter. If that is happening, this much of carbs, proteins, and things, everything is good. Like whole grains, lentils, pulses, vegetables, fruits, nuts, healthy oil, ghee, spices, everything, all have their roles in the balancing process. Okay. So the meals should be cooked at home. Always, which kind of meals that we have to prefer? The meals that we have to prefer is always like freshly cooked meals that we prepare at home with a very fresh ingredients and like with a loving and caring mind. That always it's very person should cook the food with a love and care and with the mind that with that food everyone else should have the benefit, will get their health out of it. That thinking should be there, and it should be looking nice, nice looking food. It should be served well and also with very fresh ingredients, and always eat warm foods, and please try to avoid the pre-packaged foods whenever possible, and stay away from saturated fats and sugar most of the time. And we have to eat whole grains if you are able to digest it, fruits, vegetables, and lean sources of protein. That means it comes in the form of lentils. Okay. And as when the season changes, and one should make changes in the diet also, and the regimen as well. Okay, we are not supposed to eat the same diet for the whole year. We are supposed to eat according to the season. Whenever the acne is heavy, based on the seasons also the digestive file changes, that they explains in the Rutucharya session. So based on that acne changes, we have to eat accordingly. That means for certain seasons when we observe ourselves, we feel that we are feeling very hungry, and for some season we don't feel eating at all. So that is our own body's need as based on the digestive fire capacity. So based on that we can select our food. Okay. And so one should always change his diet according to the season as well. It is suggested to stay in cool places and eat cool foods whenever the weather is too hot, and switch over to the warmer places and warm food when the weather is getting very cold or in the winter seasons. During the winter seasons, what happens means we need to correct our acne. We may feel that we are feeling very hungry and feeling that acne is very high because body is heating it up in order to balance it with the external temperature. That doesn't mean that our internal fire, the digestive fire, is more and we need to eat more. Basically during that time the acne is basically a little bit less. So we need to eat quite frequently but little quantity of food during that season. Okay. So one should not eat too much of cold or dry and bitter food, spicy, fried and salty foods quite often. This is a very common advice, like too much of dryness and too much of oiliness and too much of hot, too much of cold, and spicy diets, too much fried items, and every taste to its maximum. Too much of spice, salty, sugary, bittery, pungent. Nothing should be too much. Everything should be in a moderation. That need to be controlled. And now we will learn about some of the specific considerations in the dietary intake. Okay. So, when wholesome diet plays a crucial task in growth and development of the body, person has to patiently know which is wholesome and which is unwholesome to him. Okay, so the wholesome varies from person to person, and that what is called the satmya. That means the satmya of food to one person may not be the satmya to the other person. To something which will be satmya for me, wholesome for me, may be asatmya or unwholesome for the other people. Okay. So the wholesome food taken with the proper rules helps to restore the dynamism in the sick. That means helps to restore the health on the sick. If we take a wholesome food, the same like if you are taking unwholesome diet, it's a even the healthy person can turn into sick. So to achieve a proper digestion, assimilation, and health of the body, and everyone has to follow the dietetic rules. Okay. So there is a, we call it as the specific rule stored by Charaka Acharya, we call it as Ashtahara Vidhi Visheshiyam. That means the 8 factors, okay, which is very much important from the point of causative, preventive and curative aspect of the disease. So these 8 things has to be very much taken care while you are eating your food or preparing your food. All these things need to be taken care. Now let us see what are the 8 Vidhi Visheshas. They are to be examined before the food intake and also to be followed during and after the food intake. All these 8 factors are considered to be equally important. So among this, The first six factors from Prakriti to Kala are related with Ahara, whereas the seventh factor is called as Ubhayoga Samstha, that is related with the process of eating. It is called the Ahara Vidhi Vidhana, that's the eight factors. Now we'll see like which are all the things. So these eight rules specify, what is specifying is like how to, it is for like how to eat, when to eat, and it is for healthy aspect. And similarly in many disease, Ahara Vidhyudana is also mentioned. So that means we advise certain patya, no, certain dietary restrictions for certain diseases is also based on that. Okay. So the first one among them is called as the Prakriti. Okay. Actually, I missed a board to write to make you more understanding. We need to write something on the board. This for me to make clear, like to make my clear my mind. The first one is Prakriti. That is a very commonly heard term. Maybe Prakriti. It indicates the natural qualities of the food articles. That is the inherent qualities like heavy, light, dry, cold, and also certain foods like if you see milk is very heavy, and if you see water is also heavy. Everybody misinterpret water as a very light thing, but please understand water in its self form, that means without boiling, is very heavy to digest. Okay, that's why we always instruct everyone to boil the water and to drink it, because that heavy quality of the water is changing into light or leghu when it is boiled, and it is easy for digestion. Otherwise, whenever you are doing the water fasting and all, actually you are giving a very big burden to your system. Okay, you are giving something like a very heavy meat. How much time even you take to digest a heavy meat, the same time that you need to digest 1 liter of water if it was taken without boiling. So this has to be in your mind and select accordingly. And that's what Prakriti of the food items need to be kept in mind before we select certain kind of food. If we see curd is heavy, okay, buttermilk is light for digestion. In that way, so many changes are there in the food pattern. Okay, in Ashtanga Hridaya, think 15th or chapters, the qualities of all kinds of food were explained. It's better to go through that. Dravadravya Vijnaniyam, 12th chapter, I think. So it always gives you an idea of the qualities of the food. Next one is Karana. How's the food prepared? Okay, that also has a very important role. The process of preparation of food is called as Karana. The method of preparation and the processing of the food changes the natural quality of the food. So, before cooking and after cooking, the natural quality is the same. We'll take an example of water. Before cooking, the water is very heavy for digestion. The same water becomes light after boiling it. So, cooking always transforms the quality of a food items. Normally, it changes its consistency from heavy to light foods. Okay. That's why we always prefer for freshly prepared warm foods. That means cooked meals. Samyoga. Next, the third one is called as Samyoga. That means Samyoga. Before it was name is Karana. Second was Karana. 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 And third one is called as Samyoga. Samyoga. Samyoga means the combination of individual thing with one or more other things, and that means if you're preparing a salad, okay, we are mixing so many vegetables or the leaves or the fruits together. So that combination, if you are preparing a curry, we are mixing lentils with vegetables and with coconut and so many things. So those mixing should have a principle, should not have a all those ingredients should not contradict with one another, should go along with one another. Then only it's going to help in improving the health of that person rather than alleviating the health of that person. So samyoga of certain food also need to be given importance. Okay. And the next one is called as Rashi. Rashi means RASHI. What is that? Rashi. Rashi means nothing but the quantity of the food taken. Okay. How much quantity of the food that we have to take? The quantity of the food is like always depends upon what? Tell. Okay. The quantity of the food is always depends upon the person's digestive capacity. Okay, not the mind. Your mind may need to take 2 chicken biryanis because of the color and texture of that. But know your stomach. How much your stomach need to take. That you have to know for of course. Okay, so the quantity of the food is always matter. The next one is known as, the fifth one is called the Desha. What is Desha? Desha means the habitat. Okay, DESHA. Desha means nothing but the habitat. It indicates or it determines the variations of the qualities of the food according to their geographic region. If a crop is growing in a place where it is rich in water content, the quality of that food of course become more watery or like more easy to digest because mixed with the water, easy to digest, watery vegetables, light to digest. But the same thing if it is growing in a desert land, okay, because it has to consume a lot of water within it, and if it might have changed the consistency of water into some other form to keep it moist. So when we consume vegetables in a dry barren land, it needs to be a little bit cooked more, and the quality of that food will have an aggravating vada factor in our body. Something which is grown in a watery land, it is pitta reducing. Something which is grown in a desert area, it's vada aggravating as well as pitta aggravating. And something which was grown in a place where we have like lot of not snow, cold areas, that is basically kapha aggravating kind of foods, kind of things. That's why apples normally grow in a very cold areas. So when we take so much of them, it creates so much of dampness in them, so much of heaviness in us. It's not always light to digest. It always creates a lot of vada and increase in the kapha and a lot of dryness in our system. Okay. So always when we are selecting a food, the desha is also very important. Because of this, the different soil use and their assimilation to that particular region is different. So that's it's very important to know that. The sixth one is called as Kala. Kala is nothing but time, or time of the year, time of the season, time of the day. Everything matters, and even our age also matters. Kala is the Kala. Okay. Which is described in 2 ways, that is daily and seasonal variations can be taken as Kala, and also considers the individual's conditions of age and the disease. The Roga Kala, that means in which stage of disease you are. In age, in age means either you are kid or adulthood or age person. So that kind of aging is also considered as a Kala. So while we are eating, these things also should be considered, that we already told according to the seasons, whatever locally available that we have to eat, and according to the day of the time we have to eat the bigger meals and the lunch, and my very light meal for the dinner, and moderate meal for the breakfast. The next one, according to age and disease also, the kids has to be more of a sweet predominant, because in the growth stage they need more of a sweet rasa, and in the growing stage. And for the adulthood, basically it's a pitta dominant time. That's more of spicy things will be more priority they will be taking. And in the old age is like more of vada time, so we need to concentrate more on vada alleviating kind of foods. That means balancing kind of foods that we need to add more of ghee or oil into the diet to balance this excessive vada. Same thing during the adulthood, in order to balance the excessive pitta, we add more watery vegetables, more watery fruits, and something which is cooling to the bodies needs to be prioritized. In the same with the case, something which is like not creating a increase in the kapha dosha need to be balanced. Okay, so that are the things we need to be taken care by the kala. And the next one is called as Upa Yoga Samstha. Okay, Upa Yoga in the sense UPA Yoga by UGA, and Samstha SAMS Sams THA Samstha. Upa Yoga Samstha. That is, it consists of the on how to take, when to take. It's all of the dietetic rules continuously, how we need to bear, how we need to use this. Okay. And Ubayukta Samsa, that means a person who takes the food. So that is also responsible for the like Ahara. That means who is taking, when he is taking, what he is taking, everything matters when it comes to food. So that's why food is very important, and that's why it's considered to be it's having a key role in everything. Second, let me drink some water. Excuse. Okay, so as a practice based on the science and spirit, Ayurveda encourages to prepare and eat food in a peaceful, loving, and pleasant environment that we already discussed, and to greet food with the act of respect. So always before eating, we need to greet the food or to pray, have a prayer. Normally, we do a prayer to Lord Annapurneshwari for bringing this meal in front of us, and for the persons who have worked hard for bringing this meal in front of us. That everyone we need to thank, and we should have that gratitude towards everything. And you have to always chew your food gently and remember not to overeat. Though establishing a disciplined pattern of eating healthy and nutritious food, we tends to find a balanced lifestyle which provides a mental, emotional, and physical stability. So when we eat in such a manner, it always helps to improve our complexion, clarity, good voice, long life, understanding, happiness, satisfaction, growth, strength, and intelligence for all. Okay. It all also depends upon the quality of its intake. I'm just going to the relevant notes like I want to talk about. So it always explains that dietary needs and digestion are affected by the rhythms of nature, and the changes that occur in one's life. Living an Ayurvedic lifestyle is to make food choices that are based not only on the original doshic pattern of human being, but according to the quality of the food, the current season, and the place of living. For example, the influence of a hot, heavy, humid, uh, florid summer day can be balanced by a cool, light, dry, leafy green salad, which is steamed or baked. The time of the day also has its influence according to us, like according to Ayurveda. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the period of dominated by Pitta, and that is nothing but the fire and water, and is considered as the best time to eat the most complex meal, as your digestive fire or Agni is very strong during that time. The cycle of life is the yet another determining factor in the conscious eating. Okay, as we grow older, we enter a Vata dominant period. Okay, so our Agni may be very weakened and the vital tissues become very dry. By eating a smaller and more frequent warm, moist and nutrient-rich meals like soups, and we can maintain a balanced state of health during this phase. Okay. So, we have given the guidelines regarding the proper food and appropriate so far. Now we have to know importance of the Shatrasas, that means the 6 days and their effect on the doshas, and while we are choosing the food, which one we need to be, which combinations we have to make and how we have to make. In order to make that, we need to know the qualities of each of the taste. Okay. Uh, like like Tridoshas, these Shatrasas are also found to be very important to decide a kind of food. It is an imbalance, like it identifies the 6 major tastes as needed in the diet every day. Like we should have at least one meal per day. You should have the all these 6 days to be mentioned. Okay, not mentioned. All these 6 days to be included. So that 6 days are nothing: sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. So we show that sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. So each of these days has specific health giving effects. Okay, and by including all this 6 days in at least one meal of the day, we will be most completely nourished and satisfied. It's always like I'll let you know, and I can give you one example for the fruit which is having all these 6 days in it. That is nothing but amla, that is gooseberry. Gooseberry has all the 6 days in it except salt. Okay, so we can steam or boil it with little salt, then it makes a complete food for a person. It is actually it's not that apple per day is not keeping the doctor away. It's gooseberry or a amla per day is actually keeping the doctor away. Okay, so when consistently eat only a few of the tasters, it's not only, so if you like certain taste, like if you are like a spicy person, if you eat that spice a lot, if you're a sweet craving person, so when you consistently eat these few tastes only, it is not only causing the health problems. Okay, but what happens? It also triggers the craving for your unhealthy food habits, because the 6 days also affect the doshas. What happens if you certain tastes have a dominance of doshas, like which is something alleviating and aggravating the doshas particularly. So before going into, it's a long topic, I think we can discuss about it much more detailedly in our next session. All the shatrasas we can explain, but if you have any doubts in this class, I think it's like a 1 hour sessions, and we'll have a pause. We'll be again continuing with the 6 rasas in the next session. So at least we'll just talk about the bitter, and then we'll wind up the session, and we'll again continue with the other taste in the next class. Okay. So the bitter taste, we know that it is found where we can feel the bitter taste. This maximum is in nothing else, bitter gourds. So the bitter taste is found in like all the gourds and the spinach, salads, asparagus, little bit in the tomatoes, coffee, unsweetened cocos, And what is its effects on the body? Basically, it is kapha and pitta decreasing. Okay. Bitter means tikta rasa. Tikta. Thi. Tik. K. Ta. Tha. Tikta rasa, which is kapha and pitta reducing in nature. K and P reducing in nature, and vada aggravating in nature, increases vada. If you eat a lot of coffee, what happens? Your vada is going up because it is bitter, and also your pitta goes up. It's not only coffee, it's only example for coffee. And if you only eat salads, that means uncooked vegetables also, it can increase your vada. When it is cooked, it can cooked with or sorted with some little bit of oil. We are balancing that vada nature, because all the bitter salads, if you take it excess, it is very much vada aggravating in nature. Okay. So that is about the Pitta Rasa. The next one is called as a pungent taste. Okay. Pungent means kadu. Pungent, P-U-N-G-E-N-T is a pungent taste. In Sanskrit, it is called as kadu, K-A-D-U. In but kadu. It's nothing but kadu. So the pungent taste is found in basically in chilies. Okay, everything which is very spicy in nature, all the chilies, peppers, ginger, and other hot tasting spices, everything have this pungent taste. Okay, so the pungent taste, what it causes, decreases the kapha and but increases pitta and vada. Kapha decreasing, pitta and vada aggravating in nature. Okay. So if you eat too much of spicy foods, your pitta and vada will hit your head and your kapha will completely go down. That will make you more angry on the mind level, and also can cause burning sensation of your stomach and the inflammatory changes in the system. So you should be very cautious. You're mixing it. So whenever you're mixing a spicy thing, you have to mix it with something. You have to mix it with something which is also kapha increasing in nature. That's how the knowledge of rasas help us to mix or form our diet habits. Okay. So we have seen, we are just going through the Shadrasas and we have finished Pitta and the Pungent Kadu Rasa. We will be continuing about the other rasas in the next session. Okay. So go through the classes and learn it.